of mix things up a little bit because, you know, some of us in eXp want to sell real estate. Some of us want to do some team building and some revenue share, and most of us want to do all of it together. So we like to keep it separate, so you can kind of choose where you want to go. But when I was looking at what I wanted to do tonight, it just didn't make a lot of sense to not combine the two. So we're going to talk about both tonight. And you know, in any business, we're always looking to make new goals. You know, you always hear about New Year's resolutions and doing, you know, reset on business plans. But I think probably every single successful person in business, 3 or 4 times a year, will do like 90-day little you know, go spurts of say, hey, this is what I'm going to do in the next 90 days or 30 days, and refresh their business constantly. I know Lynn does it all the time. When I've talked to her about it before, it's like, you know, setting out goals and what you want to do. So it doesn't matter if this is your first week in eXp, and I know we've got some. I'm looking at you, Carly, brand new. So fantastic. Or if you've been in the business, or not in the business, but with eXp for, you know, even a year or a little bit more. Jeff and I have been in for 2 years at eXp. Is let's look at maybe what we can do better and what we can improve on moving forward, that can really help us reach our goals. So I've been looking at, you know, just kind of, I've got some stuff popping up on my screen here real quick. I got a zap, sorry. And I can't find it. I just have something coming, jumping up on my screen that's covering everybody all at once. So where'd it go?
Tuesday nights, I think, are the only time you have computer issues.
Well, you know, you do notice that I have a different view tonight, right? So I got rid of my extra monitor, so I'm just on my laptop tonight, so I won't have any issues. But so tonight we're going to be talking about really what we're doing in your first 30 days with eXp. So Jeff has put together some incredible links that are on the Marchant Real Estate website about what, you know, like all the different steps of how you onboard, how you get started, some checklists of how to get up and running in the business. But I recently was watching something that Brent Gove put together. You know, he actually did it a year ago, a few weeks, you know, like a couple weeks ago, on what agents should do when they first start eXp. And I thought, what a great opportunity to just kind of refresh all of us. And there's things on this checklist that I kind of went through that I haven't done yet, and I've been in 2 years. So this is for all of us, you know, to kind of refresh. So what I did is I went through his little 30-day program, and I revised it for what we do here in Utah, and to go over you know, things that apply more to us. And part of being with eXp is we do have additional opportunities in eXp. We have stock, we have revenue share, and we have great tools and training and everything. So I wanted to combine everything the same way he did. So I'm going to share my screen, Jeff. Let's see. And can you see my screen here?
Yep.
So I'm going to give you all these links, but this is actually something that Brent put together. It's of the first 30 days at eXp. And I revised it a little bit for Utah, but this is he actually has a 40-minute video. I recommend you guys all go watch it. It's very inspirational, and he goes through kind of the process of how to really build a real estate business and also a revenue share business. And what I really like about Brent, and I think I respect Brent as much as anyone in eXp, because he sells a lot of real estate and he's building a revenue share business, and he's doing it both at the same time. And when he joined eXp, he was already selling a lot of real estate and incorporated building a team at the same time. So Jeff, are you recording? I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the first, so when you see this list on Brent Gov's website, which I'm going to show you in a minute, we have changed a few things here. So the first thing that I want you guys to do, and if you haven't done this, let's get together and do this. Meet with Jeff or I, and we can do just like a one-on-one and meet over Zoom and actually go through some of your goals and what your work schedule is. And obviously for a brand new agent, make sure that you're where if you know where the weekly trainings are and our schedule, and get those scheduled in your calendar all the time, and make sure that you have that those are number one things that you don't miss, and schedule around it. Like Jeff and I, we have our trainings. We obviously don't schedule over the top of them whenever, I mean, never, because they're booked solid. So we have to be there, and we should all have that kind of importance. Like, these are important meetings that we need to get together. We have had some awesome trainings on Tuesday afternoon and, Tuesday evenings. Last week was amazing with Josh Metal. Great stuff. And I can't even tell you how many times, Jeff, I've had agents text or call me the day after a training asking me all the questions of stuff that were just covered the night before, either by you or myself or one of our guest speakers. And I'm just thinking, oh man, I wish they were on last night so I could reference what we just did instead of kind of starting from scratch. And I know that we can't make them all, but it's really good stuff. And Jeff has them all recorded and uploaded as well. So the first thing is, let's make sure we got that, in our calendars, and we are, committed to going to as many of those as possible. Second, Jeff has created some amazing resources for us. I don't know how many of you've seen them, but at merchantregroup.com, we've got training archives, which are all the training from Tuesday.
Hey, Eric,
Yeah.
Are you scrolling through your PDF? Because it's not moving.
Is it not moving?
No. This whole time it's just been on the first 30 days at eXp.
Okay. I don't know what to do about that. I'm only on one monitor now.
Yeah, that is strange.
Yeah, I thought I'd have that fixed. Hold on. Let me try one thing.
I just wanted to be able to see your list that you have created there.
Okay, I'll do it this way. How about now? Can you see me scroll?
It hasn't loaded yet. It says you started screen sharing, but it's just black.
Okay, there is something seriously wrong with my computer here. So it's just showing black.
Yeah.
I'm going to log out real quick and I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll fix it.
Do you want me to try and pull it up? You emailed it to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Let me see.
I'll just log off real quick. I'll be right back.
Can you guys see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the document that he was trying to pull up there. Let me make it a little bit bigger. He is working his way down here, right here on the links. Has some contact information, it looks like. Now, the links that he's going to be talking about that are on my site, the one that says merchantregroup.com/brokerage, that's the one that is better agent experience. That's the one that goes to the due diligence page. These other two, it's not linked on my site anywhere. These landing pages are for you guys, that the training archives and the checklists and stuff. So you actually have to have that link. And Eric popped in and it looks like he popped back out. I don't want to get ahead of him.
Which link, Jeff? Which one?
On item number 2 there's actually 3 links, and we're going to upload a PDF version of these where these are actually clickable links. Okay. But the one I was mentioning at the bottom, merchantregroup.com/brokerage, that's the one that also has the domain name betteragentexperience.com. That has just all things EXP, a lot of links for anybody you're talking to that wants to do more due diligence on EXP. That's a great one to give them. Eric actually has the actual landing page, the link that my website produces, but Better Agent Experience is forwarded there. And then the other two, you actually have to have those links. You with us, Eric?
Yeah, I'm here. I can try to share mine just out of curiosity, but we don't
Yeah,
really.
go ahead and hit share. It'll just bump
Keep
me
it on
out.
yours. It's fine. I can try it, see if it'll scroll, but I don't think it'll be a problem now. I can't share right now. It says, okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have you as admin. That's probably.
Okay. Can you see me scrolling?
Yes, it's working now.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so these three links, actually the better agent experience, that third one, it is public on your site, but the first two, you have to have those links to send out to people, or actually to get there. And the training archives has everything from like Tuesday noon and our Tuesday night calls, and also some Freedom Fridays as well. So get associated with those, take advantage of those. Number 3, finish team limitless get started checklist. So this might seem a little confusing because we're doing first 30 days and we have a 30-day checklist. So don't get confused there. The 30-day checklist on the Marchant Group right there is kind of like everything to just kind of get up and running and make sure you're in the system properly with eXp and you're onboarded with our group. Is that kind of best summary, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're talking about is kind of like how to kickstart your business tonight and kind of start over. Number 4 is schedule and meet with your concierge. When Jeff and I joined, we didn't have this with eXp. And I absolutely love it because I've actually gone through with a concierge a few times with new agents. And it's a one-on-one concierge with someone assigned to help new agents come into eXp. So when you and they actually send you an email and say, I'm your concierge. They don't call you or bug you. It's really kind of up to you to say, yeah, I would like to, I would like to use a concierge. And they will go through every system with you, like Enterprise and Skyslope and KV Core. Make sure your site is set up. Make sure your email is working. If you have any issues with onboarding at all, it's all right there to use. So it's a fantastic tool. And you actually have that concierge for a year anytime. But I've been here for 2 years. I still send my concierge that I picked up after the fact. I send her messages with some questions and she gets right back to me. So it's really, really helpful to have somebody inside of eXp that can just, answer quick questions for you. So if you're brand new, make sure you do that. If you bring in a new agent, make sure they know that they can go see that concierge as well. Number 5, this is all getting started stuff. So number 5, review and attend classes offered in eXp World. And this is really important because if you engage in the classes and you get see what other agents around the country are teaching, there are some great classes where we can learn a lot. I've taken some fantastic classes just recently that I'm incorporating in my business right now that is bringing me business that I would not have had otherwise. Absolutely no question about it. So utilize those classes. And we have a lot of them recorded as well in the eXp University. So if you haven't gone in and favorited eXp University and Workplace, do that as well. But I encourage you, like when you first get started in eXp, go visit accounting, go visit onboarding, go to your state office, go check out our Team Limitless suite. I mean, get used to the eXp world because the answers are there and there's over 600 full-time employees there to help us all the time. So we can get our questions answered quicker than you can usually calling somebody by just jumping on and asking. And I use it all the time. I was on there this morning, just kind of getting an update on a new agent that was coming on and say, where's she at in the stage and how can I help her out? And they just looked up the agent and said, here's where she's at. This is what we're waiting for. And I can reach out to that agent and help them out. So it's not something you have to do to help out like that, but it's just, if you have that knowledge and you can help someone out, just jump on and use the resources available. Number 6, I really like this. This is Brent's class that he does. It's actually not on eXp Cloud on the schedule, but Brent does it's called North American Leadership Series, and it's all about agent attraction. And he does that weekly on Mondays at 12:30 our time, Mountain Time, in the Red Hall in eXp World. And there are some great stories, some great examples of it's really working for agents, and what agent attraction is working. Also, I just noticed on eXp World, there's Brent's doing a class. I think it's next Monday at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, and it's like a Q&A with Brent. So always check eXp Cloud and see what's coming up, and make sure that you're catching all the news. Another thing too is Friday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time is the eXp news. It's just 30 minutes about what's going on with eXp. If you can jump on that in the main auditorium in the world, it's fantastic just to stay updated. And that one's recorded too, so you can go back and watch it in Workplace. So here we're talking about some agent attraction here. Build a list of 100 names immediately. So I remember someone, I think it was Brent, that actually was saying, you really haven't joined eXp until you've closed your first transaction and you've attracted an agent into eXp, because then you're a part of the family, because then you're enjoying everything that eXp has to offer. You have stock ownership that's given to you, and you're starting to enjoy some revenue share. So these are, even if you're not going to contact all 100 names immediately, get started building a list of agents. And I mean, even if it's friends and family that also know agents, start building that list of agents and people that you'd like to attract to eXp, not just your SOI for buying and selling real estate. So number 8 is watch videos at brentgove.com. If you guys haven't been to brentgove.com, it's incredible. I'm going to pull that up real quick. Can you see Brent Gove? Jeff, did it work?
Yes. Yep, you're on his site.
Okay. This is a beautiful site with a tremendous amount of information. I mean, he really goes above and beyond. He has complete real estate training that he shares with all of us, all agents. If you want to learn about buyers, sellers, team building, you just click on the links. You can learn about mega open houses, which is amazing. Look at this KV Core training. We've got beginner, advanced, customizing your website, 5 steps to leads, KV Core 1, 2, 3, how to get business referrals. All of this is just right on Brent's website. Take advantage of this great information that he's put on here. This is just all, real estate training. He also has agent attraction training, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, and how you incorporate agent attraction while you're building a real estate business. Next thing I have on here is this link is kind of ugly, but you can actually YouTube it and just do a search for Rob Flick wealth chart. And he actually does a 90-minute class on the wealth chart. And if you don't know what the wealth chart is or haven't looked at it, it's what Rob Flick created on basically his a napkin. He said, how am I going to build eXp brokerage or build my revenue share and keep track of it? So he created what's called a wealth chart. And in this video, he explains how he uses it and how it works and how you can track your business. He has great scripts as well on agent attraction in that video. So if you haven't seen that, watch that video from Rob Flick on building your wealth chart, and take your business serious. If you want to build a team, take it serious and create that wealth chart. And you can print it off too. You don't have to go buy one. It's just, print it off and start filling it out. And number 10, Gene Frederick's napkin wealth presentation. This is fantastic. He actually breaks down all the different advantages and what you can actually do in eXp in building revenue share and retirement, and how simple and small numbers it can be to make a huge difference in your real estate business. Because it's not just about having massive residual income in revenue share. It's about what can 2 or 3 agents do for you on a monthly basis that maybe go get 2 or 3 other agents. And the numbers are really quite staggering. So I recommend you watch that video. If you just get onto YouTube, you can use that URL, or you can just go onto YouTube and type in Gene Frederick napkin wealth presentation. Couple versions of it. Excellent and definitely worth it.
Eric, actually,
Yeah.
all those, the last links you've been talking about are on the training archives tree. There's one that has attraction links, and I've
Oh,
uploaded those onto that. So I put in the chat the links that Eric was talking about earlier. If you go to training archives, you're going to see, like Eric mentioned, the Tuesday trainings, the Tuesday night trainings. There's some agent collaboration phone calls that have been on there. There's some attraction links. So obviously they're by categories and they're labeled in there. So that'll be a quick way to find those.
yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. One thing too, Rob Flick and Gene Frederick are 2 of the biggest leaders in eXp. And those 2 guys are actually why we're sitting here tonight, because, Brandon introduced eXp to Jeff, and Brandon was introduced by Matt Ashby in Canada, who was sponsored by Rob Flick, who was sponsored by Gene Frederick. So these group of leaders are our leaders in our group. They're incredible people, and they put out a wealth of information to help us grow our business, and take advantage of it. And they have some great tips on how to do it in a non-threatening way and how to grow a really nice revenue share business. Number 11, carve out some time to prospect every week. And this is for agent attraction. And, I love what Brent says and what he's done for years. Monday through Thursday, he is all real estate. He runs a team. He sells a lot of houses every year. And then on Friday morning, he goes golfing. But from 2 to 5 on Friday afternoons, all he focuses on is introducing other agents to eXp. So he has a very good balance, just 3 hours a week. And he actually has his assistants beat him over the head sometimes. Says, you can't be talking to buyers or sellers right now. This 3 hours a week. This is all you do is introduce eXp to other agents. And I mean, he's got some great stories, on his video on the first 30 days and what that 3 hours per week really did for his business. So carve it out, take it serious. Number 12, sponsor enroll 10 agents as fast as possible. I really love this because Brent focuses on momentum. And if we bring in a new agent once every 3 months, we're going to have 12 agents in a few years. But if we can condense that time and create some momentum, we're going to see a lot more growth in a shorter period of time because you're accelerating the process. And don't lone wolf it. This is number 13. Utilize your sponsor and your upline to help you. And I'm going to combine that with number 14. Introduce your upline as your partner, your mentor, or your coach, not your upline. So if you have a new agent that you're introducing to, say, Jeff or I, they're your partner, or they're your mentor or your coach. And we really are partners in business. And one of Brent's tips was in a regular brokerage, you basically have a bunch of agents that have one broker owner or a franchise owner. So there's one agent or owner that's really interested in your success. eXp, it's different. We have multiple agents that are all interested in our success. So find out the 7 agents above you and know who they are, because they not only do they want you to succeed because they want you to succeed. They have a financial incentive to help you. So know who those people are, and if you have a group chat or group text and you have a question, how do I do this? It goes out to 2 or 3 or 4 of us at the same time. And if Jeff's showing a house or something, I can reply to that. Um, utilize what you have available to you. And I really appreciate that Brent's on a bunch of text threads like that he can help out his agents. Number 15, text and call your sponsor every day with questions. If you have, and that's part of the group text too, if you have, more than one that you work with, ask those questions. Don't try to do it all on your own. And I think of agents that are coming from other brokerages. We have different systems at eXp sometimes than what other agents have used before. Don't go through a whole transaction if you know what you're doing, and then find out at the end, you're like, okay, well, how do I get paid? What do I do next? It's like, utilize us and just ask us, the simple questions, and use eXp World to make sure that you're on track, because we really want to help you. So do it right the first time. And if not, this is a great time to reset and make sure you're doing it correctly moving forward. So number 16, this is exactly what I was just talking about. So I jumped ahead a little bit, but Brent says, make a list of the 7 people above you that want to help you succeed in real estate, and get their phone numbers, and know who's there to help you. Because we've got a great team all around us and above us. I mean, when you think about, we've got Brandon in Vegas. He's always showing up to help us. We've got Jeff, we've got Lynn, Matt Ashby's done a lot of great stuff for us. So, I mean, I'm talking about 4 agents right there that are already on our team that are vested in helping us out, and reach out and utilize them because they're here to help us. I love this one, Jeff. Number 17, attend or start a lunch and learn. He says, if you don't have someone doing a lunch and learn in your area, don't complain. Go start one. Go do it, right? But we are doing those every week, so you guys don't have to create them. So press play means just plug them in, and invite those agents to come check out what we're doing at eXp, why 1,000 agents are joining every single week. Every week we've got 1,000 agents coming on, and we're not doing signing bonuses or twisting anyone's arms. They are coming over because of what eXp offers that no other brokerage has before. So, take advantage of those and invite away and attend too. One thing that I loved about what Brent said about the lunch and learns is, if we can meet in person, or if we have to do it over Zoom, whatever the case may be, if you don't have someone coming, do everything you can to be there anyway, because somebody else on our team is inviting somebody, and it creates energy for everybody. So be excited, be happy, come show up. If you want to come in person and bring that energy, because in 2 or 3 weeks, when you're bringing your agent in, some of the other agents are going to be there that haven't brought somebody, and they're going to be excited to be there as well. So we want to have that energy, even if it's over Zoom. In person, great, but support everybody, because everyone's here to support you when you bring over an agent to check out eXp as well. Brent says, and attend the next big eXp event. I wish we could do that in person. Not quite there yet, but we do have the Shareholder Summit coming up May 17th and the 21st. So definitely want to put that on your calendar right away, and make sure that, let's see, I got stuff popping up again. So we've got a few questions here. Sorry, I'm a little behind. What time is the Friday agent attraction meeting, Kim? So are you talking about the presentation? It is at noon, yes.
Yeah, the presentation. I invited somebody, so I'm hoping they'll come.
Perfect. Yep. We're going to do that every week at noon on Friday. And I'm really excited about that too, because it's just one meeting and everybody knows what it's for. It's to take a look at eXp. So
And if you can bring them live here in my office, that'd be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what we're planning on. And then the Brent Grove that you just mentioned, is that on Thursdays?
that is, let me see.
He has a couple of different ones. His leadership meeting is on Mondays, I believe. There was a new one that I think he mentioned that he said Thursday. That was the Q&A. Is that right, Eric?
Yeah, it's on eXp Cloud, but this one's not. So if you just go to eXp Cloud, you can see the Brent Gove one.
Okay.
Okay, so attend the next big event. Support your group, number 19. If you have agents that are part of eXp, text and call them every week. Stay in touch with them. Make sure that they're plugged in and they know you have support. Jeff and Lynn and I really try to keep everybody involved every single week and make sure that everyone can know when the trainings are and everything. But we can all reach out to each other, and it's important. I love number 22. He said duplication is how you grow, and how you show up will be how your group shows up. So if you show up to everything and that's how you roll, then that's what your group is going to do as well, and you'll see massive dividends from that, from how your group continues to grow as a realtor, but also in the revenue share portion. 21, what is your big dream vision? So this checklist is kind of going through different items that you can check off and start working on. Your big vision dream and your freedom number. If you don't know what your vision and dream is, then you need to come up with it. I've already talked to a few of agents on this call. I know what their vision and dream is. I know what their freedom number is. Like Kim tells me all the time. And I love that because I know what she's working towards and I know how serious she is. Your freedom number is really, really simple. It's basically you take your monthly outgo, whatever your bills are, that's your freedom number. Because if you can replace that with some residual income, then you have freedom, right? So that's pretty simple to know what that number is. And that's what we're really all striving to. And keep that in mind. That should be your, one of your first stepping stone goals is to replace and create your freedom number. And then know what your revenue share is going to be in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years from now. Set some of those goals out there so you can work towards them, and then kind of backdate the numbers that you want to do. So if you want to have, 50 agents in the next 6 months, you can say, well, I need to contact so many agents by this amount of time, invite this many so I can hit those numbers, because all 50 that you introduce eXp to aren't going to join at the first shot, right? So you have to have a higher number than that. So reverse engineer that and figure out how many that you need to do. And we've talked about that on another training, so I'm not going to jump into all that. But 23, these are Brent's numbers, and we talked about some numbers on 2 Freedom Fridays ago, but his are really simple. I really like this. Set your goal to sponsor and enroll so many people on your front line in your first year. So if you've been with eXp for 6 months or 9 months, your first year starts today. That's how I look at it. So if you're writing your goals down for the first time, then this becomes when you start. So if you have a number like 20 or 40, then set your goal to have so many in your group by the end of year 1 with eXp. How many agents do you want? And Brent's success formula is 2, 10, and 40, which means if you talk to 2 agents or brokers a day, Monday through Friday, you do 10 a week and 40 a month. And if you do that, your business will grow because it's a numbers game. And I like looking at things in week time frames. Where did we just hear that, Jeff? Not daily. I think it was actually on the 10X from this last week. Kim,
Yeah.
is a really good
That
example.
because if it's daily and he misses it, then he's like, oh, I missed my streak, whatever. But if he groups it in either a week or a month, it's like I can double down tomorrow and catch back up, and I'm still going to hit my weekly or monthly goals.
Yeah,
So,
I thought it was a really good example in a story, because if you don't hit your daily goal, you feel like you failed. But life happens, you know, things come up during life that we don't expect during the day. So if you have a weekly goal, you can catch up a little bit. So put down your weekly goals. Brent's is really successful. Talk to 10 agents a week, you know, 40 a month, and you will hit your goals. That should lead to sponsoring at least 3 to 5 each month, or depending on your level of influence. So if you're talking to 40, expect 3 to 5 to join. Now, maybe it wouldn't be the first month, maybe it'd be the second month as that pipeline keeps going. But if you keep doing that every month, you're going to see that pipeline start to grow. And finally, Brent says, have fun. You know, real estate is supposed to be fun. What we're doing is fun. We get to work with people that we really like and associate with on a daily basis. So Jeff and I have talked about it many times. It's like we have some agents that we've worked with in the past that we don't necessarily want them to join eXp, right? You know, because we love working with people that are fun and have good goals and have good hearts, and you know, our group. So that's kind of a rundown of the first 30 days. This is Brent's, and I want you guys to go check this out and write down some goals and use his checklist on or the checklist that I just updated, and see if you can catch up and start over a little bit. So check out Brent's website, and I'm gonna upload this version of the checklist, which is a little bit different, and utilize what you know, Jeff has put on his website to you know, help us with that as well, because you got some great links and trainings on there. Makes it so much easier for a new agent that's transferring or coming over to eXp to walk through that process, so we can just kind of plug them in.
well done, Eric. I love it. This isn't our typical Tuesday night conversation, but it does go hand in hand because it's all part of what is offered at eXp, right? We want to learn and we want to study and we want to be better agents. But if we're doing that and we're involved in transactions, we're talking to other agents anyway, you know? So being conscious of, hey, that might be a guy, not necessarily like, hey, let me tell you about eXp and you just met him, but that might be a relationship that you want to continue and to nurture for that reason. So you might meet an agent at an open house or something. You just really like them and you really connect with them, right? Maybe friend them on Facebook, maybe comment on their stuff. It might be eXp gets brought up 6 months from now. This is a long play, in my opinion, right? I'm not over anxious that my group isn't, you know, like somebody else's group, because consistency is going to win in the end. And so just keep that in mind. And knowing these things is great, Eric, to just kind of plug into everything else they're doing, because if it's not on your mind, you know, opportunities are going to be missed. But because you've now put it on your radar, you're going to notice things that maybe would have slipped by you otherwise.
I think what I really enjoyed about going through this, and I just pulled up the video. So, I mean, if you want to just, you can get to it through brentgove.com. And it has this handout. It's a little different than the one I just shared with you because I edited it more for our group. But this video is fantastic. It's really motivational. And what I really appreciate about what Brent is talking about is it's a balance. Like when I look at what Brent has done, and what he does is he works real estate Monday through Thursday really hard and golfs Friday morning. Well, what if he decided not to do Friday 2 to 5 agent attraction? He'd still be making great money and selling a lot of real estate. So he is just as committed to his real estate as he is to his revenue share business, but he just spends a lot less time on the revenue share business. It's all about time allocation and dedication for what goals that you have. And that's really what I kind of wanted to kind of hit home, is just that if you're first starting out, or you're resetting your business, understand what your goals are. And if you don't have agent attraction goals, that's okay. That's fine, because there's no better place than eXp to sell real estate and have ownership in a company just from selling real estate. But try to segment those things and keep them in the time frame that they belong. You know, that was really what I got from it, Jeff, and I really wanted to share tonight, is just, you know, go through the steps, make sure you're not missing anything, but dedicate certain time frames to do your business and do everything 100%. Back to the 10X conference that we had, there were so many speakers that talked, but I just remember like grabbing certain points from different speakers. And one of the points I heard that I really appreciated said, if you're going to do something, really do it well. Don't even bother to do it kind of half-heartedly. So if you're in real estate, go sell real estate, dive in and do it. If you want to do agent attraction, dive in and do it. Right. Don't just kind of dabble in everything, and because you're never going to have massive success by dabbling. And I think it was actually Glenn Sanford that said on stage when he was with Grant, said, correct me if I'm wrong, Kim, because I know because you watched it all, but he said anything worth doing, anything that's worth doing on a big level is worth doing wrong at first. Do you remember that quote? Am I saying it right?
I don't remember that one.
I
Okay.
remember it. I mean, if it's worth doing at a massive level, what he was talking about is people fail to get started.
Yeah.
He's saying it's okay to suck at first.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay to
Get
be
going.
bad.
You will learn along the way, right?
Yeah, because it's worth it. You know, because the rewards are so great in selling real estate, growing a team, that it's worth making some mistakes and doing it wrong and sucking at it at first, because the rewards are so great. So, you know, anyone that's really, really good at anything wasn't good when they started. So you have to get through that to hit your goals.
So true, so true. And I think a lot of people get in that mindset of comparing themselves to somebody else, but they're comparing their current self to Brent Gove's current self instead of his previous, when he was back when you were, right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that stops people get going. It's like, God, they're so much better than me. Look at what they've accomplished. But they started at one point. You know, you knew people on here. You know, I see Carly and Brittany and Drake and Mary and Alex. You guys are just getting started, really, in what could be a great career. And so don't compare yourself to somebody that's been doing it 10, 20 years and have that demotivate you, because we all had our first deal. We all had our first phone call, right? Our first presentation. And time will make you better.
It's worth it. It's totally worth it. And you got to put
Yep.
your why out there. Why are you willing to step outside of your comfort zone? What are you doing it for? What's the purpose? So get clear on your purpose.
Yeah. And isn't everything that we're doing in real estate, when you first start and get your license, isn't everything out of your comfort zone? You know, trying to find a new buyer or a seller, you know, you feel like, am I even qualified to be doing this? You know, what help do I have so I can get through this process? Because it's interesting, your first transactions are almost always with friends or family or somebody you know well. You're like, why do I have to practice on people I really care about? Right? It's like, because that's who's going to trust you to really focus on their best interest as you start to grow your business. So it can be, anything can be uncomfortable when you first start, but just know that you have a great team to help you out and help you get through those, those challenges and answer the questions you don't have and lean on it. So it's not really a fake it till you make it. It's more like lean on the people that are here to help you with the experience till you have that experience.
Well said, Eric. Hey, unless you're going to share something else, can you stop your screen share? And then
Okay,
I can
sure.
see everybody on there. Jesse mentioned in the chat, she's wondering, hey, when can we do these Tuesday night trainings like live and in person? Anybody else want to pursue that? Maybe coming to the office and doing live trainings? Like we used to do in the same room, shoulder to
Tuesday
shoulder.
night is my night to cook, so I have to be here.
No,
Yeah.
I think you should offer both for people that want to come, but don't forget us on Zoom that need to stay home.
Well, Sherry, I think we are forever stuck with Zoom. Nate's up in Oregon. Nate's not going to drive down on Tuesday nights.
He might surprise you.
He might once. So Eric, am I okay to bring up what we were talking about earlier about?
I wanted to, but I thought, no, you do it. I was wondering if you wanted to. Yeah.
So we were talking earlier because obviously we're always talking and brainstorming on how to create more value for you guys. And Jessica, I like the idea. I mean, I have been at home on some of the Tuesday nights, but if I knew people might show up to the office on a Tuesday night, I'll be here on a Tuesday night, right? And we're still going to do it on Zoom. But what Eric and I were talking about, most of you have been on the training where we've had Josh and his team. We've had them on a couple of weeks, right? They've done a great job. They're bringing an added layer of benefit from the lending perspective, but Josh is a master at lead generation and a follow-up with our contacts. I mean, what's the name of his HomeBot? How many of you have delved into HomeBot? That's pretty freaking awesome, right? So he's bringing some good tools to the trade too. But what we were doing is we worked it out with Josh. Hey, let's flip back and forth every other Tuesday. You bring your team on, Eric and I'll come. You bring your team on, Eric and I come on. What I brought up to Eric was, it kind of came into my mind because I'm doing a listing coming up in Provo. And I tracked it back. It's like, how did I get this deal, right? I tracked it all the way back from when I first got my license, didn't have any clients. And it was actually Josh Metal was my lender, and he owned a bunch of rental properties. I owned a bunch of rental properties. So I said, let's do a first-time home buyer class for our tenants. We got a ton of tenants. Let's get them all in a room. Well, 3 showed up. So we're in this big room at Keller Williams. We reserved it and everything. We had the slide thing already, and 3 people showed up. All 3 of them became our clients. All 3 of them did loans with Josh. All 3 of them bought homes with me. Well, Jen, she bought a condo. She was Josh's tenant. I helped her buy a condo. A couple of years later, she got married. He owned a condo. They wanted to sell both condos and buy a house for the 2 of them, right? So it led to multiple transactions. Well, we've kept in touch over the years, and now Jen's mom is selling her house in Provo. But the reason I tell you all of that is because it goes back to one new home buyer class that I held with our tenants that now is responsible almost 10 years later for a listing that I just got handed to me. So what I was thinking is, would you guys be interested in if we did home buyer workshops that you guys could invite your clients to? I'll do them. Eric and I can do them together. Maybe we'll even bring in one of our lenders. But especially first-time home buyers, right? They got a lot of questions. What does the process really look like? But even buyers that have bought homes before, it's like, what does the process look like in today's environment, right? And so what I proposed with Eric is, rather than go back and forth with Josh and us on the Tuesday night trainings, what if every 3rd Tuesday we did a first-time home buyer, or not a first-time home buyer, but a home buyer clinic, workshop, whatever you want to call it. Then we go to our Tuesday night trainings. Then we go to Josh and his team and bring in the lending perspective. And then we start over. Home buyer workshop, agent training, Josh. Home buyer workshop, training, Josh. What do you guys think of that?
I love it. I vote yes.
Sherry's a yes. I think, and again, that consistency, you will know it's repetitive, it's reoccurring, so you'll know when it's coming up, so you can invite to it. I know for one, and Jesse, you just brought it up to maybe have this in person too, but I certainly was going to propose that home buyer workshop is here at my office in Draper. And if others are going to participate, we'll, like I said, we're married to Zoom now forever. So we'll have Zoom on as well. But I think we're going to incorporate that if you guys think that'd be a good idea. Would you invite people to it? Am I going to sit here by myself every third Tuesday?
No, I'd have people there.
I have people I'm have in mind right now.
I think it definitely makes sense. I actually randomly reached out to a girl on Facebook the other day through some mommy group, and she was talking about how she'd been pre-qualified for something. I'm like, okay, let's talk to a lender. And she was like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm just going to pay everything off over. I'm like, wait. Like, I'm no expert, but let's not pay everything off. Like, let's talk to a mortgage lender first.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
I had a
it'd
client do
definitely be
that, Mary.
helpful.
I had a client that sold his house and paid off all his bills before we bought the next house, and his credit score dropped so much he had to get a cosigner.
I've had that same exact problem. It was a long time ago, but I had somebody moving into a new construction home, and they went to RC Willey the week before. Oh, it was probably 2 weeks before closing, and bought a refrigerator, furniture, everything on credit. Probably 2 or 3 weeks before closing, tanked their score, and now they have furniture and they can't buy the house. So,
and every time they sit on that nice new sofa.
a happy story. It was actually Josh Miller. He figured it out. He worked through it and made that happen. So they closed on it. It was a long time ago, but yeah, it's kind of fun because when you think about when you, as in a profession or in life, if you think about and talk about and live in a certain topic all the time, it's almost, you sometimes almost forget the rest of the world doesn't have all of that terminology and knowledge around you. I just talked to a buyer an hour and a half ago over the phone, and she's a first-time home buyer, and she's like 29 years old and hasn't bought a home yet. But I'm always a little bit surprised about how little knowledge they have about the process. So sometimes you just have to explain things that you know they know already. And I sometimes preface by saying, I'm sure you probably know this or you've heard this before in the past, but I just want to kind of let you know how the process works. And, you know, like, I'm going to be your buyer's agent, to tell her you'll never receive a bill from me. You know, the seller actually is already paying to represent me and help you. So it doesn't cost you anything to use an agent. You'd be crazy not to use a buyer's agent, you know, when you're buying a house, especially in this market. She's like, I didn't know that. I thought I had to pay for a buyer's agent. So just little things like that. I think it'd be great to have a buyer's workshop and kind of fill in some of those gaps, what to do and what not to do, you know, how to prepare a few months down the road. And I think we'd all get some buyers and sellers out of it.
Well, and I want you guys doing deals too. That first buyer consultation is kind of one of those things we've talked about that we kind of, you know, the nerves of doing that the first time. In fact, in the training archives, I think it's under the team collaboration link. I actually recorded a Zoom call with Leah. She got me on Zoom with one of her potential buyers, and we recorded the whole consult with me and her clients and their options and their possibilities. And it was live. That might be something you might want to check out in the training archives there. But I think you guys attending this, if you come, if you invite your buyers, and that repetitiveness of talking about the market, talking about the buyer's process and how to resolve their concerns, actually before they bring them up, gives them a lot of confidence in you. I always say I like to answer their questions before they have the opportunity to ask me their questions. So let's do it. Let's do those workshops. I think it'll be good for you in the mommy groups or whatever. Some of you are in mommy groups, but that's not real estate related, right? But they have real estate questions. Imagine if you just, with some of your friends, just pose the question, I'm just curious how many of my friends don't own a home yet, and just start a dialogue. I've got a spreadsheet of agents that I'm talking to around the country because I started conversations, they engaged, and now I'm keeping a spreadsheet on what topics we've been discussing so that I can nurture that relationship. And when something else comes relevant, I can send it to them. So if we're doing that every third Tuesday, it's like, even in those questions, I wouldn't do it in a real estate group, of course. Now we got other agents bringing their clients over here, but I want to help you guys out. But how many, just posing the question to your friends, how many of you would be interested in a live workshop on how to buy a home or how to navigate this unique market that we're in right now? And I think you'll build some momentum that way.
I love it. Great idea, Jeff.
Cool. Anybody got anything else they want to add or talk about, or did you have something else, Eric?
I mean, it made me think of something I did a long time ago. Not that long ago, it was probably a year and a half ago. I actually hired somebody to put sticky notes on apartment doors for looking for buyers, for people that were renting. And I have 3 buyers right now that are qualified from a year and a half ago. They've been in credit repair and working with a lender. So sometimes those pipeline opportunities, they pay off down the road. And they've just been sitting with my lender, one of my lenders, and my lender called and said, we've got 2 of them ready to go this month. They're ready, they're done. And I'm like, who is it? I don't even remember. So it's just good to have that, additional, opportunity to talk to people that maybe not already this month, but they will be, at some point.
Yeah, don't discard somebody just because they're not ready, right?
Yeah, they're going to buy a house sometime, right? So the bigger the pipeline, the less you're fishing and hunting, right? For a buyer or seller down the road.
Yeah. You know how I get a lot of my repetitive clients is because when they're buying that first home or whatever, I open the dialogue from day one. How cool would this be when this becomes your first rental?
Mm.
When people want to move up, they always think of selling that and buying something else, right? But when you even open the door to explore the option of keep the one you bought, especially at these interest rates, right? And it becomes an investment property and you only put down 3 or 5% instead of 20 or 25. And then you move into the next one. They're like, how can I qualify for 2 homes? And that just opens up that conversation, right? And so that result won't even happen for 4 years, possibly. But you're going to still be in business in 4 years, aren't you? This group's not quitting. So, planting those seeds now, you can get a harvest them later. Like I mentioned before, doing 10 years doing a first-time home buyer class. Now I got a nice, rare, exclusive Provo East Bench listing coming up 10 years later.
That's really cool.
When are you guys thinking about doing the first one of these meetings?
Possibly in 2 weeks. We've already got Josh on board for next week. We just talked about it literally a half an hour before this call, and threw it out there. So I'm kind of feeling good about it. I'd like to readjust Josh's schedule. He's already committed to us every other Tuesday. I'm sure he'll still commit to us every third Tuesday. And then we'll have this component, Josh, and then the home buyer workshop just every third, just on a revolving cycle. So let's just commit right now, 2 weeks from now, I'll be ready right here and we'll do a workshop for buyers.
Perfect. Thanks.
If we did the first Tuesday of every month, might be easier to remember.
Well, that might not be as good for Josh though on his, unless we set him on like the third Tuesday of every month, because there's more than 3 Tuesdays in the month. So in order for us to revolve, you know what I mean, on that schedule, some months are going to have, 4 or 5 Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you guys think would be better?
Let's ask Josh and see what works best for him, and then.
Because if we did it the first Tuesday of every month, then each month, I mean, unless we just assign Josh okay, you got the third Tuesday and then you and I take the second and whatever.
Yeah,
Is all-
second, fourth, possibly fifth.
Yeah, so we could do that.
Yeah.
That would mean that class is once a month instead of every 21 days. I want to be able to invite to it too.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got somebody and it's 3 weeks out, I guess, I mean, you could nurture them along the way, but let's talk some more about it. But what is the 2 weeks from now?
30th.
The 30th, so that's the last Tuesday. See, like this month, there's 5 Tuesdays. You want me to move it? Do you want me to do it April 6th, the first Tuesday?
I think so. But we can talk about it later. We'll figure it out.
We'll let you guys know. But back to the other stuff Eric was talking about, invite to Friday at noon at the office. We'll do an eXp overview. It's not a home buyer shop, but it's what's coming up next.
Yep.
Want us to be in the world for those to show people like we're sitting at the table. Do you want us to jump on there if we can?
No, that was a little too complicated and not as impactful as it could have been. And it's too hard for me to juggle my setup to screen sharing and Zoom sharing and screen in the world. And I always screw something up. So got to keep it simple for me. But yeah, I mean, we kind of moved Freedom Fridays up to 11 in the boardroom in the world. So that being said, if you're planning on being here live at noon, you might come at 11 for Freedom Friday so that you're here at noon when we start the eXp overview, especially if you got a guest showing up. And if you can't make it at noon and you want to have somebody come anyway, just let me know. I'll take care of them. You know, you don't not invite somebody that's open and inquisitive to not come because you can't come with them. We'll take care of them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate everyone. Little
Thank you,
different
guys.
tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Man, thank you.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Good stuff. You guys have a good night.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.